when we talk about the CCS calculator, I want to show you guys the new design. Now, like I said before, we did do a training earlier this week about our new features, and it was mentioned. I was actually aware that we're doing that, so apologies if it's double information. But you can never get and you can never have too much of a good thing. So let's just show you guys how our new CCS calculator works and how it can help yourself, your families, some scenario planning and whatnot. So the really cool thing about this calculator is it's all now done in like real time, I guess. So as you change information, you're going to see all the changes. So basically, we go to CCS subsidy calculator, and I believe if we haven't already done so, I believe we're going to give this link available for even like centers that haven't signed up to CCS yet. They'll still have access to this calculator. So it's not just going to be locked to only the people that have signed up to CCS. Okay, keeping in mind signing up to the owner CCS is free, so it really makes no financial difference. You just sign up and you have access to it, even if you don't use it. But yeah, I think with the CCS calculator, we will make that available. Okay, and so the calculator, the way it works, if anyone hasn't, if you haven't had a chance to play around with it yet, is essentially you just enter the details for that particular family, their rate, their withholding, their hours, and what their cap is. And we start putting in the information from a fee perspective and how many hours they attend. And this bottom section here just starts to calculate automatically as we enter information. And it starts to show us the total fortnightly hours, the fees, the CCS estimate, what the gap will be, the subsidized hours. And if we are over or under our hours, it will show us how many hours we have not used or how many hours we've gone over. Okay, so let's say, for example, we're at a 56% CCS rate, withholding 5% as per the standard. And we have, let's do something to show you guys. Let's say we only have 60 hours, okay? But the family still wants to attend 5 days, let's say, and they want to know what their gap will be. The next thing we want to determine is, are they non-school aged or school aged? So if they're an OSH/USH center, do the 1067. If they're not, it's 1220. Okay. And then basically what you'll do is put in how many hours that family is attending per day. So let's say you've decided, because they're on 60 hours, we're going to give them a 9-hour session. Okay. They want to attend, I can even do 4 days. Let's say we do 4 days. Okay. We've decided that that's the minimum amount of days that they need to attend. You can put that in. The fee for the center in my fictitious example will be $120, let's say. Okay. And what it's doing in the background is it's actually calculating, as I type in all that information, all of this stuff at the bottom here. Okay. So I'm going to keep going because this family is doing 4 days a week. Okay. And you can clearly see many different things that were populated as I was typing that information out. Okay. Now, just to clarify, you just need to fill out the top information, the CCS percentage, withholding, entitlements, which if the child's in the system already, you see under entitlements anyway, and the cap, sorry. And then also just fill out the hours per day if it's the week 1 of the fortnight or week 2 of the fortnight, and what the fee is per day. You can mix and match. You can have 10 hours here and 11 hours here, whatever. Okay. But obviously, we're just trying to do a standard 9-hour sort of example. So we can see here that we've got 36 hours and another 36 hours. So we have a total fortnightly hours of 72. We're only entitled to 60. So this family is going to go over their hours by 12. Okay, so we can see the unsubsidized hours that we have are 12. Okay, if we have less, by the way, it will have a negative. So I've only used 54 hours, but I'm entitled to 60. So I still have 6 unused hours. Okay, it'll come up as a negative. Okay, we just wanted to point that out. But the really cool thing is a few things. Okay, so we can see the total amount of hours for this 1 week, the total amount of hours for this other week separately. Keep in mind, if you have, different days, you might have some children that do 3 days and then 4 days. You can see the differences between each week. Okay, and this is what I mean by scenario planning. It's so easy to just change the information and see how it affects things. You can see how it affects the gap, the CCS estimate, and whatnot. So let's say, for example, you're doing 12-hour sessions and you want to drop them down to 10. You can easily see that. Okay, and in a second, I'll show you how you can save information as well. So you can print out the 12-hour quote, the 12-hour sessions per day quote compared to the 10-hour sessions per day quote, and see what the difference in the gap is, or the CCS and whatnot. So it's really interactive. Okay, so you you basically fill out all that information and you'll see a lot of different things. You'll see the fees for that week and then the other week as well, calculated together. It's automatically calculating the CCS and the gap for you, so you don't have to do that, but you can clearly see the difference. You can actually see, so in the first week, because we have all of our hours still, the CCS is 233, but in the second week, it's only 155, okay? Adding that all up together in the fortnight will give me 389, but it's not a breakdown of half. You know, you don't just split that number into two because you actually have more this week and less that week. What that's going to mean is the gap is going to be less in the first week because more is covered by CCS, and it's going to be high in the second week. So you'll have one of those situations where the family has a different amount on their invoice each week, and one will be higher, one will be lower because of them running out of hours. Okay, so you can clearly see how nice and easy and slick it is to sort of update all that information. Let's say you have a fee change and you want to sort of, you know, relay that information. Again, you just go put that in and see how that affects your family. So I'll show you guys how to save the information as well. So once you're done, you like all the information, you want to present a quote to a family, or you just want to keep it for your sake and just save it, just come up here to the print button in the top right hand corner, and you can actually print out this information, and it comes in a very nice presentable quotation sort of layout. Okay, now you can change it from portrait to landscape and play around with the settings. We would recommend just removing these headers and footers so it doesn't look like it's coming off a web page. Okay, see all that stuff at the top there. Just remove it by clicking that. Okay, that makes it nice and neat. And also probably recommend just customizing the margins. You don't need 100%, maybe 70 might be better. Just work out what sort of percentage works for you to try and get that either on one or two nice pages. I think if I do it on landscape, I should be able to. What nice on a different computer. That's right. Oh, because A5. Come on, mate. There we go. I was wondering what was wrong. I knew there was something that was fishy. So you can basically see how you can get that all on one page. You know, you've got all your center information at the top, your phone numbers, emails, and all that. So the parent can clearly contact you if they want to go ahead with that quote. If it's a new family, you can also then save that as a PDF or print that off if you have a printer attached. Okay, so there's many different things you can do with that. And like I said before, you can have one instance and save that. And then, for example, at the 12-hour, like let's say, for example, so let's remember these numbers, okay? Let's see, is it all 929, 120, 120? Okay, so the family will have to pay 570 gap, okay? Because essentially that's what the family really cares about, is how much do I have to pay at the end of the day. So if they were sticking to 11-hour sessions, which is, let's say, the standard session everyone else is stuck to, that will pay $611. So you can clearly see how reducing your sessions to 10 or 9 or whatever the case may be can actually help the family out. Okay, so play around with all the information that you need, and you can clearly see the difference in the numbers, I guess, whether it's the CCS or the gap or whatever the case may be, even the amount of hours that they're going to be using. Okay, it does that all for you, so no need to manually calculate things.